.exe. Then the attacker, what they did, they downloaded that software, and they just scanned that software to check the comment that they have provided in the code is existing or not in that software. And they're very lucky to found out, as expected, that the comment that they had mentioned was existing in that software that was released by SolarWinds officially. Okay, so now the attacker were knowing that whatever things they will write on the code will be coming out on the official product. And they understood that the security team, the software development team guys have no idea of kind of detecting that they have been attacked. Now, once they had that knowledge, then they came to the next stage where they kind of pasted out the what do you say the actual code which was doing that. Actual code was actually what is to do is like it will give the full access, remote access to any of the devices which is kind of running the SolarWinds software. So then the attacker made the changes. Again, the SolarWinds released the official product, and this time the attacker code was existing over there. And when that software was pushed out to multiple clients, multiple high-end clients, the US government and whatnot, that code actually ran on all those things, on all those clients. And the attacker was able to get access to all those client data. And so these are the clients of SolarWinds, and the attacker was able to get uh, full access to those clients data, not just the network traffic but everything. And once they had the access to the network traffic, they can do a lot of stuff. What they can do is they can suppress the alert of their choice. So even if the client team is detecting certain alerts, before it reaches out the SOC team, they will suppress that alert because they had full control of the network devices. And what they also did was that they actually laterally traversed from in the company organization of these clients, and from this whole list of clients, they also traverse to the other clients, which were the clients of this client. So it is very kind of very complex attack. So they were able to traverse to other clients also. Let's say one of the client of SolarWinds is Microsoft, and I used to sometimes use Microsoft because I was working with them for a few years in past. So one thing is that now Microsoft, let's say, is running the malicious software, and the attacker has hold of the network devices. Then the attacker would kind of see what are the other clients that Microsoft has, and then they used to laterally traverse to those clients too via Microsoft. Okay, so this was a major attack. It was very well funded attack by the government, and the attacker were really sophisticated. They were knowing how to kind of not create any noise and be very still and achieve their objectives. And this is how the SolarWinds kind of came in place. And it was a major disruption to organization. Every organization who came to know about this attack, they were just running around and kind of checking out. So let me ask you guys. So let's say this attack happened, and let's say you guys got a knowledge about, okay, there has been a major attack on SolarWinds. What are the few steps as a SOC analyst you would do? Let's record those points. So I wanted to know what you will do, starting with this alert. So let's say the CrowdStrike, or it came into news that SolarWinds has been attacked, and this is what the attack looks like. So what the next thing that you should kind of look at? So give me some points which I can kind of understand from you guys. Sorry, but you're not audible. Can you speak a bit more louder, or tune the?
We'll basically check our architecture and the security controls firstly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, any other thing that we can start with over here?
Yeah, we need to block the outbound traffic from the SolarWinds which is going up.
And by outgoing traffic, you mean towards the attacker IP?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
and we need to wait or we need to search for the like patches for this solar wind patches.
Can you repeat that again? I was not able to catch that.
We need to request the OEM for the security patches.
Patches. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So yeah, I got some good points. Any other? Just one more point to add over here. Any other point?
We, if possible, we can isolate that solar winds uh, from the internet or connecting to the internal devices because to restrict the lateral movement.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So that's the containment process. Yeah. So that's actually kind of a really good points that you guys mentioned. Blocking the traffic, having the security patches, solar wind, taking the containment stage, understanding the architecture, understanding the security control. So thank you for that. Thank you for saying that. And these are the exact kind of actually the things that we'll be doing. But let's synchronize that. Like let's say what things will start now. Starting what will the basic steps that will start taking, because overall when this kind of attacks happen, um, what happen is that an analyst is actually bogged down by details. Okay, what needs to be done first, what needs to be done second. Okay, so the let's step by step let's discuss like what are things we'll start with. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is we will read the article in detail. Okay, article in detail that came out. We will extract the IOCs from there. IOC actually, I mean, let's say the attacker IP address that has been mentioned on over there. So we'll extract the IP address. Okay, so that's one thing, and maybe some other details like the maybe let's say the malicious URLs. Okay, and now what we will do? We will do two things. First, what we'll do as one of the guys mentioned about the blocking the outgoing traffic. So the first thing we'll do is that we will check our logs. We'll check our logs, okay, to see if there has been any traffic in past, network traffic in past to that IP address which was mentioned in the article or to the URL. So first thing we'll check is the traffic that has been kind of going out, let's say for a year, in past. We'll just kind of run some query and we'll kind of check if there has been network traffic to this IP address. So this is one thing that we will be kind of doing. So that's one thing. And then we'll kind of noting that out. Okay, we'll first note that out. Okay, let's say one of the, so we separate out our SOC team. Let's say one member we give the task. Okay, you guys go and check the log, the past log, see the traffic, and make a note down of all the traffic that has been seen towards this attacker IP address or URL. So that's one. So we'll divide our resources. Okay, and we will try to work as parallel as possible. Not like, okay, we complete one task and we move to the next task. Whenever possible, we will do the things in parallel. So what we'll do, we'll allocate the resource in our SOC resource is always limited. So we'll allocate the resource that one guy, or maybe let's say 2-3 guys is working on the logs part, checking the network traffic in past. Then there will be another thing that we will do is that we will ask one of the guy of our resource to set up an alert. So it's not just the past thing that we'll see, we will also see the future. So we'll set up an alert which will say that, okay, whenever any traffic is seen going, so even though let's say there was no traffic in past, we'll set up an alert, which is very important. Actually, most of the time we miss this thing. We check the past logs, but we don't set an alert. So we set up an alert where we will say that, okay, kind of like whenever there is any communication to this IP address, even though it is not there, if it is there to these URLs, the SOC team get an alert out of that. So we set up an alert. So we'll ask one guy to kind of help us in setting up the alert. And now again, as I told over here, detection always need continuous improvement. So in the same manner, over here, the alerts that we set up or the things that we are detecting in the past, it will need continuous